Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 8th of December, the first important news that is debate around the conjugal visit for the prisoners. Recently, the Punjab government has given the facility to the prisoners where the conjugal visit will be allowed. Second, that is roadmap for the transmission system of the green energy. This is about the targets for the 500 gigawatt that India has set. Third, UGC norms panel to work on textbook on Indian languages. Fourth, all in the name. This is a brilliant editorial that will give you an insight about the power of the deputy commissioner or district collectors. And the last is an editorial BIMSTEC as a key to new South Asian regional order. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I begin this session, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do press a like button. Starting the session with the first news, that is debate around the conjugal visit for the prisoners, something important for General Studies Paper 2. Under the subtopic, government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So for the first time in the country, Punjab has allowed the conjugal visit of the prisoners, and as per the initiative, the prisoners can meet their spouse for 2 hours after a gap of every 2 months. It is expected that this initiative will lead to strengthen the maritime bonds जो होती है maritime bonds and ensure the good conduct of a prisoners. So it is very important for the society that this type of bonding between a family should always be existing, and the aim is to strengthen the matrimonial bonds between the couples. For now, the facility is only launched in 3 jails in Punjab, which include the Central Jail in the Govindwal Sahib, New District Jail in Naba, and Vimal Jail in Bhatinda. Now, about the conjugal rights, this is again important. You can be also asked in the mains examination. Even for the interview purposes, this is important. The conjugal rights are the rights that is created by marriage, and this is a right of an husband or the wife to accompany spouse. In this context, the prisoner, however, the conjugal refers to the concept of allowing prisoners to spend some time in privacy with his or his spouse within the jail premises. And it is often argued that the conjugal visit can have a positive impacts in the form of psychological health of the prisoners, because loneliness is the toughest side of the basically the investment that you make. So it is very important to maintain the psychological health, and the biggest punishment is the loneliness, which is again impacting the psychological health. Preservations of the marital ties, reductions in the rate of homosexuality and sexual aggressions within the prisons. तो ये सारी चीज़ों को reduce की जाए, इस तरह से इसको ध्यान में रखते हुए गवर्नमेंट ने ये डिसीजन ली. Now, it also argued that the conjugal visit are the fundamental right of the spouse of the prisoners, and the prisoners are internationally recognized through the United Nations standard minimum rules for the treatment of prisoners, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and International Convent on the Civil and Political Rights. तो ये ऐसे कुछ इंटरनेशनल राइट्स हैं जो कि ऑलरेडी एप्लीकेबल हैं ग्लोबली. ना जुडिशियल व्यूज की अगर बात करें इंडियन कंटेक्स्ट में, सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट की क्या व्यूज है इसको लेकर के. इन द केस ऑफ सुनील बत्रा वर्सेस दिल्ली एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, जस्टिस अय्यर हैज ऑब्जर्व्ड that visits to prisoners by the family and the friends are solace in isolations, and only dehumanized system can deprive vicious delight, depriving the person intimate or the human intimacy. तो उन्होंने कोशिश की है कि on a specific questions conjugal rights of the prison, however the high court have differed on their ruling. So there are different opinion of the judgment as well, but after the Punjab government decision, this will definitely be going to be a game changer for many other states as well. In the case of Jasveer Singh versus the state of Punjab, the couple convicted over the murder and the death row made a petitions to the court to enforce their right to procreate. So, your right to procreate means to a right to reproductions as well, something that should be enforced. Now, right to life is a very important component in the fundamental right, and this right is something which was recently highlighted by the Supreme Court as well. So, right to life की अगर बात करें, it's a instrument where prisoners are guaranteed to right to life and inherent dignity. The right to maintain family relations, including the conjugal visit, are included in this treaties. The primary questions before the law was whether the right to conjugality and the procreations as a part of the right to life or not. Very important point. You can be asked an analytical question in the mains examination also. The High Court has held that the right to conjugality is available to prisoners under Article 21, subject to certain restrictions. However, in the Mehraj versus State, the Madras High Court has considered the question whether the conjugal rights are the part of the right to life, personal liberty, which is guaranteed by Article 21 of the fundamental right. Basically, Article 21 is a part of the fundamental right of the Indian Constitution. Now, Punjab model की अगर बात करें, the state guides clarity on the conjugal visits as a matter of privilege rather than the right, and it has notified that the average time for the conjugal visits shall be allowed for every 2 months, for every 2 hours, for every 2 months, right? The visit of the spouse will have to furnish the proof of marriage, medical certificates, and she should be free from human immunovirus, that is HIV or any kind of STD diseases, COVID and other infection. Moreover, such facility will not be extended to high-risk prisoners, terrorists, child abuse, sexual offenders, death row convicts, prisoners who suffer from HIV infection as well. Now, moving to the other news, a roadmap for the transmission system for the grid energy, something important for general studies paper 3, that is infrastructure, energy, port, road, airport, and railways, etc. In order to support the 500 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by the end of this decade, by 2030, the Union Ministry for Power has launched the transmission system for integrating 500 gigawatt capacity by 2030. This is a target that India has set, and India has promised in the many multilateral forum to achieve the target, be it is COP26 की बात करें या फिर COP27 की बात करें, India has always made this commitment, and this is also in the light of the Paris climate change. A high-level committee under the chairman of the Central Electricity Authority, representative from the SECI, Central Transmission Unity of India, Power Grid Corporation of India, National Institute of Solar Energy, National Institute of Wind Energy, has held consultation with the state government to prepare a report that how we can achieve the target of 500 gigawatt from the renewable energy. Now, क्या road map है government के इस context को लेकर के? The plan entails connecting mega solar power and wind zones with the national grid that will see an investment for 2.44 trillion, and this is something that the project will cost. The mega plan will construct 8,120 circuit kilometers of high voltage direct current transmissions to the corridor cables. So these are the things that has to be executed to achieve the success, and it envisages the installations of battery energy storage capacity for 51.5 gigawatt by 2030, and this is to provide the round the clock power to the consumers. Now, non-fossil fuels-based generations, according to the statement by the Ministry of Power, the plan has identified major upcoming non-fossil fuel generations for the centers, which include the Fatehgarh, Badla, Bikaner in Rajasthan. ये कुछ plants जो है non-fossil fuel based लगाने की बात की गई है. So this NFFB, that is a non-fossil fuel based generation, will be set up in this location. And the second will be Khada in Gujarat, Anandpur, Kurnool in the region of Andhra Pradesh, offshore potential in the Tamil Nadu and Gujarat, and renewable energy park in Ladakh and other states. Now, climate commitment of India. The Ministry of Power is an endeavor to meet the climate commitment, and India will achieve the target of 500 gigawatt from the non-fossil fuel capacity by 2030. And the minister is pulling its liberty to the renewable energy developers to ensure that these commitment of 2030 should be met at the earliest. Moving to the other news, UGC formed panel to work on textbook in Indian languages, something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is issues related to development and management of education and human resources. Recently, the University Grant Commission chairperson met the representative of international publishers to discuss the roadmap for the translations of the book, which will include the undergraduate and postgraduate courses in Indian language across the different disciplines. Now, UGC has formed a panel of experts under the Union Education Ministry to promote the Indian languages, and this is in light of the new education policy 2020, जो कि government ने recently emphasized. The UGC has constituted an expert committee to prepare a roadmap for introducing the languages in undergraduate and postgraduate courses. वो regional language होंगे, वो बहुत सारे discipline में होंगे, which include the commerce, humanities, science across the country, and the representative of the publishers include Springer Nature, Taylor and Francis, Cambridge University Press, Synergy India, Macro Hills India, and to discuss the transition process. Now, there will be an apex body or committee which will be looking into the supervision part of it. So, University Grant Commission chairperson said that each publisher will now prepare a list of books that can be translated into Indian language. And he added that the apex committee will prepare the list of the book using the university and colleges to review the list to finalize one can be translated, how it can be helpful for the students as well. Translations of the textbook. The UGC has said that the translations of the textbook for the undergraduate program in the language such as Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Gujarati, Odia, Bengali, Assamese, Punjabi, Hindi, and Urdu. And UGC has also provided the hand-holding to publishers regarding the identification of the textbook, translations of the tool, expert from the editing of these publishers. Now, this move will help the center to introduce the regional language, which is a part of the medium for education, and this is aligned to the National Education Policy 2020 of the Union Government. Engineering or medical courses में भी regional languages की बात की गई है. This will be introduced soon. And in June, the Bar Council of India has constituted a panel for the recommendations to introduce the law courses in the regional languages as well. Now, moving to the editorial. This is the first editorial for the day. And this brilliant editorial written by Vivek Deborah. He's a chairman of Economic Advisory Council to PM. And in this editorial, he talks about the district collectors and magistrate. And the title of this editorial is All in One, important for General Studies Paper 2 under the subtopic, that is Functions and Responsibility of Union State and Issue and Challenges Pertaining to the Federal Structure of our country. So what are the main issues under this editorial? We'll be looking into the theme first. The theme of this editorial is the reform in functioning of the district magistrate or deputy commissioner or district collector. We'll look into the issues like 15th report of the second ARC, which is very, very important for your mains examination. Work profile of the DC or DM. Big questions, recent amendments in the police acts and the way forward. So recently, the Vidhi Center for Legal Policy, which is known for its research and advocacy in the law-related issues, has brought a book which is known as Rule Book of Law to the Rule of Law, a subtitle which has given 15 reforms to decolonize India legal system. And out of this, 24 reforms suggested, one of the reform flagged by the Vidhi, which is a role of the district collector. तो district collector की role के बारे में बात की गई है कि आज के context में contemporary point of view से कितनी ज़्यादा valuable है, ये क्या-क्या changes की ज़रूरत है DS की, जो district collectors है, जो DMs हैं, उनके powers या positions में, उनके functioning. If you travel through the country, in all districts, you are liable to get confused because there are other names, that is DM, some place called DM, some place called district collector, or both is being used. So differentiating the nomenclature in different part of the country has a different administrative evolutions, which is a part of British administration in India. 15th report of the second ARC की अगर बात करें, ARC has given some of the brilliant recommendations to the government of India. The 15th report of the second ARC commissions has sections that district administration, जहाँ पे ये बताई गई कि जो constitutional mandate है for the establishment of पंचायती राज institution and municipality bodies has become necessary to re-examine the role and redefine the role of the district administration, that is the role for the district collector or the district magistrate. It is imperative that the devolutions of the decision making to the local level should have no impediments. Now, it is equally imperative that the unique administrative experiences, that is, expertise and the credibility of the office, there should be the part of the district collector to build up 200 years to properly utilize. तो जिस तरह से फंक्शनिंग है, क्या उसकी पोटेंशियल आउटकम आ पा रही है या उसमें कुछ रिफॉर्म की जरूरत है, ये 15th रिपोर्ट के जो एआरसी की सेकेंड एआरसी की जो कमीशन थी उन्होंने इसके बारे में बात भी की. Now, the work profile of district collector or district magistrate, first, he is the head of the land and revenue management, a very important and interesting point. All of you are the aspirant of civil services examination, and every one of you must be aspiring to become an IAS officer. तो आपको पावर्स पता होने चाहिए, क्या क्या पावर्स होते हैं. He is the head of land and revenue administration. Second, the district head to execute the magistry over the supervision of law, order, security, right? 3, लाइसेंसिंग और रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटीज जो होती है वो एक डीएम के पास होती है. जिस तरह से आर्म्ड एक्ट होती है, आर्म्स की लाइसेंस, आर्म की रिन्यूअल, ये सारी पावर्स डीएम या डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर्स को दी जाती है. कंडक्ट ऑफ इलेक्शंस के टाइम में रिटर्निंग ऑफिसर्स होते हैं ये. डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट, यू हैव सीन पोस्ट ड्यूरिंग कोविड हाउ द एनडीएमए वाज एक्ट दैट वाज देयर. तो नेशनल डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट की जो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन है वो एक डीएम की वो डीएम के अंदर. Public service delivery is a part of the district magistrate, and chief information and grievance officer is the 7th power that is there for the work profile of the DC or the DM. Now, the big question, how many of this will important today? क्या आज के contemporary issue में वर्तमान में इतनी सारी चीज़ों की ज़रूरत है? How should it imply? Because we knew that the CRPC वो एक अलग इशू है जो कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट के पास पावर नहीं दी गई, क्योंकि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में आर्टिकल 50 में बात की गई है दैट स्टिल शुड टेक अ सेपरेट स्टेप where the judiciary and executive should function differently. तो public services of state and judiciary should not be intermingled. तो इसीलिए जुडिशरी अलग रखी गई है और जुडिशरी के पास CRPC की पावर दी गई है. Now, accordingly, the DMs do not try the criminal cases as CRPS has abundantly made it clear. And the magisterial functioning are limited to prevention and no longer any direct control over the police. Now, recent में कुछ पुलिस एक्ट में अमेंडमेंट की गई है और पावर बढ़ाई गई है डिस्ट्रिक्ट मजिस्ट्रेट की ताकि उनकी रीचेबिलिटी पुलिस सर्विसेज तक भी हो. The recent amendment in the Police Act with the various states have removed the clauses where the police of the district are under the direct control of the district magistrate and still continue to be recognized by the people in charge of its jurisdiction. The deployment of the movement of the armed forces in the recent time has called for emergency crisis in the guidance, and he is the authority that issues various kinds of license under the Arms Act, Explosive and Cinematography Act. In the recent time, the collector, who is the overall supervisory authority and responsible for the proper management of jail, demand, juvenile, and home to the districts, and he is the authority who is empowered to issue detention orders, custody warrant under the Special Security and Criminal Anti-Law Acts. Now, वे फॉरवर्ड की अगर बात करें इस एडिटोरियल के कंटेक्स्ट में, जो 15 ARC के रिकमेंडेशंस हैं उसके कुछ खास करके जो बातें हैं उस पर ध्यान देने की जरूरत है. रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एंड इलेक्टेड बॉडीज एंड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी शुड बी देयर. It is not to be only the character of the district magistrate, it is act has to lower it down if essentially required. कुछ चीज़ें जो ऐसी नलीफाई होती हैं आज के डेट में वैलिड नहीं, उसे हटाने की भी ज़रूरत है. But the tensions are probably for the visible of the district level, and should the DM and DCs should be unified or standardized. Those who are aware should be the antecedents to go back to 1772, where the questions do not have the colonial legacy. And hence, we should certainly seek to decolonize. India is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, 75 years of independence. So a reform which is essentially required in the part of the public service commissions, or you can say the public services is a part of DM and SPs should be there at the earliest. Moving to the second editorial of the day. This is the second editorial where the title is BIMSTEC as the key to new South Asian regional order, something important for general studies paper 2. That is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So what are the issues under this editorial? This editorial focuses upon BIMSTEC and South Asia roadmap, significance and of regionalism, the BIMSTEC promise, ASEAN minus X formula, and the way forward. Now, recently, BIMSTEC has commemorated the 37th foundations of the SAARC Charter Day. This can be again an important question for the mains examination, and analytical question can be framed. साउथ एशियन एसोसिएशन फॉर द रीजनल कॉर्पोरेशंस की अगर बात करें, इट वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय बांग्लादेश, भूटान, इंडिया, मालदीव्स, नेपाल एंड श्रीलंका to promote economic growth in the South Asia. And Afghanistan has acceded the SARC later, and South Asian countries to be an extremely poor and least integrated region in the world. क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है रीजनलिज्म की? रीजनलिज्म इज अगेन अ टॉपिक which is very relevant for the optional paper also. Those of you are appearing from sociology, उनके लिए भी ये रीजनलिज्म एक काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज है, या फिर PSIR जैसे बच्चों के लिए भी. Now, SARC is the only intergovernmental organization which has a pan-India reach. India can judicially employ the severe interest of the entire region, but India has been looking into the SARC through the lens of Pakistan, जिसके consequences में deterioration हुई है इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के relations में, which has coincided the incapacitation of the SARC, which means to basically the part of delighted Pakistan is always there, and a narrative in the South Asia can have India successful with the use of instrument of bilateralism, regionalism to pursue the interest. Regionalism has brought immense success in the part of the East Asia and Africa, which India although had advocated for as well. Regionalism can play a prosperity in the South Asian region too, especially because of the multilateralism is weakening there. BIMSTEC की promise को अगर देखिए, BIMSTEC, the five South Asian countries which include the Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, India and Sri Lanka, and ASEAN member include Myanmar and Thailand. Importantly, Pakistan is not a BIMSTEC member. Recent year, India seems to have moved from the diplomatic energy away from the SARC to the BIMSTEC. This resulted in the BIMSTEC after 25 years finally adopting a charter earlier this year. And BIMSTEC charter is significantly better than the other SARC charter. Under the SARC charter, Article 6 of the BIMSTEC talks about the admissions to the new member of the group, and it paves for the admissions of the countries such as Maldives. Now, ASEAN minus X formula, it's allow more ASEAN members to initiate negotiation for the economic commitments, and thus no country enjoy veto powers to thwart economic integrations between the willing countries. Given the experience of the SARC, where Pakistan routinely votes and vetoes for the regional integration, it's surprisingly that the BIMSTEC does not contain such flexible participation. तो कई बार वीटो करने के वजह से भी बहुत सारी ऐसी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं जो रूटीनली रही है इस मल्टीलैटरल फोरम में भी, चाहे वो आसियान हो या बिम्स्टेक. Now, the BIMSTEC X minus formula might have allowed India's Bangladesh, Thailand through the conduct of ongoing free trade agreement and negotiation with the broader BIMSTEC's umbrella. So we need to consider the fact that ASEAN minus X formula, if it is working, should be taken and carried forward. Now, the way forward, BIMSTEC should not end up with any other SARC, and the high quality FTA offer the deep economic integrations. Likewise, India should explore the ways to move successful SARC institutions such as SAW or BIMSTEC, जैसे South Asian unions जो हैं, and even for the stronger roots of the BIMSTEC that enable erecting the new Asian region based on incremental, flexible, assuring and prosperous for the peace regional cooperation. This is how we need to work and make this multilateral forum a success, which should be something a BIMSTEC in its core essence should be working with a full potential. Moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday's questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is C again. Today's MCQ for practice. First, National Institution Ranking Framework, NIRF के बारे में बताना है आपको. It's a framework which came up by the NITI Aayog in 2015. And the framework outlined the methodology to rank across the country and the parameters of different parameters which is stated by the NIRF. Second question of the day, Pench Tiger Reserve. It's located in Andhra Pradesh, named after the pristine Pench River. And the river flows through the middle of the park. You have to check for the correct options and answers. This type of question will definitely give you an edge for the upcoming prelims examination. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.